This is the Countryside Arena where we've come to watch the fabulous falconry and birds of prey display. But first, let's see some gun dogs in action.
I'll start off at this end. We've got Willie the Witch, an English Springer Spaniel there, and make the gun dog into fun dog and let her chase after it. Now a lot of people get a dog thinking the dog is going to give them some exercise. I can stand on one spot and give that dog all the exercise it needs. If you think I should lose some weight, I'll join the gym.
How long have you been breeding gun dogs, John?
22 years we've been breeding them. We started doing the demonstrations at shows in 1993, so that was 16 years ago, which is not bad when I'm only nearly 25. We've brought a selection of dogs with us today, 2 English Springer Spaniels, 2 Labradors, the most commonest dog in the country, and the oddball one is the English Setter. Although the Setters, she's actually working with scientists at the moment doing research into some declining birds on the North Yorkshire moors like curlew, lapwings, golden plovers and merlins. Basically she finds them, lets the scientists catch them, and then they can take a blood sample and put little radio transmitters on them. So it's her busy season is now, whereas the other dogs don't come into their busy side August the 12th when we start up on the moors with the grouse shooting, and that's when particularly the retrievers will be very, very busy, hopefully putting some of the grouse into the bag. Their main role, you're there as to pick up the dead game, but also the shotgun's not that efficient, and sometimes you get some wounded game, so they have to have the nose and the ability to seek out the wounded game so that as a human being we can humanely dispatch it as quickly as we possibly can.
Hi Nigel, would you like to tell us what NOBS actually means?
NOBS stands for the National Organisation of Beaters and Pickers Up.
Can you explain what beaters and pickers up are?
Beaters are the men and women who push game birds forwards on a game shoot to waiting guns, who then hopefully shoot the birds, which are then picked up by the pickers up, usually using spaniels and Labradors, and then they're all taken off to the guns either take them or they're taken off to game dealers to be sold.
What's your role here?
I'm one of the head falconers at the centre, one of the senior members of staff.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
I'm going into my 5th year now, so doing really well.
What made you want to do falconry?
Oh, it must have been about when I was 11. I actually did a little bit of voluntary work at a zoo and had the opportunity to fly one of the owls. And as soon as he flew to my fist, I was hooked. And about 2 weeks later, my dad went out and bought me a Harris-hawk to start off with. And I've been doing it ever since.
Hawks here. Well, the buzzards are actually out there. They are hawks, so they're actually known as a red-tailed hawk or a ferruginous hawk.
What's the role of the different birds you've got here?
It really depends on the bird itself. I mean, some of the eagles here, they're used to clear up a lot of carrion. You've also got vultures as well that help prevent the spread of disease, prevent hordes of blowfly. You've got a lot of hawks, the sparrowhawks, goshawks in this country. It helps with pigeon control, rabbit control as well, so stops them sort of getting into farmers' fields and eating all their crops. So they've got many different roles.
The Cinctus part is, and you'll also find the Parabutio. So actually break it down into 2.
Have you got any almost extinct birds here?
We do. We've actually got great ground hornbills, which are pretty much extinct out in the wild. Same with secretary birds. The only place you'll tend to find them is in nature reserves. We've also got 3 baby owls. We've got a milky eagle owl, we've got a great grey owl and a spectacled eagle owl as well, which are 3 of the rarest species of owl in the world. So we're very fortunate to have them.
And what Sarah's doing at the moment is holding him up in the air. You can see that. He's having a little look around just to make sure he can take in the bearings, let him get accustomed to the area, and then he gets...
How are they to look after? Are they difficult to look after?
Oh, definitely. If you don't know what you're doing, it's one of the things you shouldn't do until you actually know what you're doing. It is very difficult to look after birds of prey, especially if you're going out flying them. Of course, you've got to have the knowledge of weights and what they would fly at, and it's all trial and error, but you've got to have the experience to start off with in order to keep your own birds.
It's come from the name the piebald. Now, if any of you guys are horsey people, you'll know exactly what to look at that. Little hover. Have you ever seen a bald eagle hover before? I'll tell you what, that's the first time I've seen it. Piebald actually means black and white. As I say, it's referred to with horses because you've got a black and white horse, and then you've got your skew boards. There you go. That was lovely. Give them a round of applause for that. That looks absolutely incredible. And then you've got your ski boards, which are brown.